Welcome back to our channel, the place where hidden chapters, royal secrets, and the stories the palace won't publish finally come to light. Today we bring you a breaking news: Howie's marital mayhem. Meghan's seduction plot ends with "Fire Her Ass" fury. A recent broadcast has revived and exacerbated controversial claims about Meghan Markle's early career, including her brief stint as a briefcase model on Deal or No Deal. The claims linked to close associates of Howie Mandel undermine Markle's official narrative of her experience during that time. During a televised segment with royal commentator Lady Colin Campbell and journalist Kinsey Scofield, the Duchess of Sussex's pre-royal career in Hollywood and its impact on her relationship with the British monarchy were discussed. Scofield's report of conversations with Mandel and a 30-year Deal or No Deal veteran informed the segment's topic. Scofield's memory was contrasted with Markle's 2022 Archetypes podcast recollections, in which she said she felt objectified and treated like a bimbo on the show. According to Scofield, the insider's description of Markle's role and how the production team saw her differs with Lady Colin Campbell's more direct charges about her objectives and Mandel encounters. These conflicting narratives have led to a re-evaluation of Markle's Hollywood career, marriage to Trevor Engelson, and the impact of changing public attitudes on the Sussexes' relationship with the monarchy. The current issue involves conflicting memories and interpretations of early career experiences, which Markle later cited as formative. Markle's personal testimony and public statements describe a job she has called diminishing, where appearance was valued over substance. On the other hand, show staff and commentators say Markle's time on set was peripheral and unremarkable. Some observers have called the conflict between these images an example of rewriting history, which entails changing past events to fit a current narrative. Others warn that such disputes over a fleeting early work are typical and may reflect perspective and selective recall rather than deceit. Contrasting Deal/No Deal narratives. Scofield's on-air allegation that she had discussed Markle's engagement with Deal or No Deal with Howie Mandel and a longtime team member prompted further scrutiny of her tenure on the program. Scofield said she had asked some intel from Mandel and that he had photos from the time, including one of Markle in the studio. Scofield stressed that a Mandel colleague with 3 decades of production expertise and a lengthy institutional memory of who appeared often on set provided significant information. Meghan was a backup girl, Scofield said of that veteran employee. She wasn't a core member. Meghan was called if someone was sick, couldn't show up, or had an audition, so she was on the subs bench. The terms backup, subs, bench indicate that Markle was a substitute model called in when regular models were unavailable. This suggests that Markle's exposure to the show's milieu was brief and intermittent. Scofield compared that testimony to Markle's later statements. In 2022, Markle told Paris Hilton on her Archetypes podcast that she had been happy for the opportunity to work on the program, but she felt undervalued and degraded to a visual object. "I ended up quitting the show," Markle said on the podcast. "There was more to me than what was on stage. I didn't like feeling forced to be all looks and little substance, and that's how it felt for me at the time." She also said she would leave the set feeling like a bimbo. Those remarks, made years after the events, have been used by supporters to describe a formative experience with an industry that emphasized appearance, and by critics to accuse Markle of exaggeration. According to Scofield, the production did not remember such feelings. He was saying, like, not only do none of us remember her, we were shocked at her commentary about feeling like a bimbo and feeling less than because we don't remember. Scofield quoted Mandel and his associate. "We never saw her on set. She wasn't notable. She was absent." This report suggests that the staff's lack of remembrance contradicts Markle's characterization of regular, repeated objectification. Skeptics say her low appearance frequency disproves the assertion that she was repeatedly degraded at work. The difference in emphasis, a steady ingrained role versus an occasional substitute presence, influences how we view the early workplace. The premise is that frequent and prominent appearance on a show makes one more likely to experience workplace culture and its routines. If not, the harmful impact may be less severe. Critics argue that Markle's later portrayal of the experience involves retrospective inflation or reinterpretation, while supporters argue that even brief exposure to objectifying behavior can be meaningful, and individuals are entitled to report their feelings. Remember that memory is unreliable. and that different witnesses on a set, especially one as huge and shifting as a nightly game show, production may have varied impressions of who worked there and how often. Scofield's source defines backup girl as standby models who are called in when normal team members are absent. However, the role involves attending the set and occasionally participating in production. Even though she was rarely seen, that person may have had memorable interactions. Being a bench player and being objectified on a regular basis are not binary. There are intermediary experiences and subjective appraisals and emphases that may vary greatly between individuals and public statements. Explaining why the debate is about how professional experiences are evaluated and given meaning in later life helps clarify the dispute. Dismissal or relegation can have lasting emotional effects, especially for early career individuals establishing a public identity. Conversely, a production with a culture of objectification will leave traces in institutional memory, but the dispersal of responsibility among many staff rotation and time can all diminish such traces. Thus, the presence or absence of a communal memory does not indicate intent to denigrate or exploit, nor does it invalidate an individual's subjective recollection. Lady Colin Campbell allegations continue. Lady Colin Campbell, an author and royal commentator, known for her strong and often provocative statements about royal family members, added to the controversy by making more explicit claims about why Markle left the show. Campbell stated that Markle was removed from the broadcast by Howie Mandel at the request of his wife, Terry Mandel. According to this account, Markle left the show due to internal dynamics and social pressures from those who controlled its presentation and staffing. Campbell stated, "I was told that Mrs. Mandel is the one who told Howie to get rid of Meghan, because Meghan was trying to up her ante and was trying to cultivate her." This suggests that Markle was trying to gain more prominence on the show, exploit opportunities for exposure, or reposition herself within the production. According to Campbell, Markle would quickly position herself next to influential figures in a room. Mrs. Mandel got wind of this and told Howie, "You've got to get rid of her." And Howie Mandel did get rid of her. Campbell also indicated that Mandel's moderate memories could be a pragmatic strategy to challenge Markle's narrative without legal danger. Campbell wondered, maybe this is his nice, neat way of puncturing her pretentious balloon without actually saying something that could involve him in possible legal complications. The recollection strategy may be tailored to maximize reputational blowback while reducing responsibility. Her claims went beyond hiring. Campbell additionally claimed Markle's professional goals at the time. She was not only desperate to be exploited, she was hoping to have intimate meetings with Howie Mandel, where they could discuss the best ways he could mine her field richly so she could advance her ambitions, Campbell said. She then clarified importantly that intimate meetings meant career strategy and professional posture, not romantic involvement. However, the statement is heated and can be read in numerous ways, so Campbell's clarification is crucial to understanding her intention. Campbell attributed Markle's aggressive career management to a long-standing pattern of behavior. Meghan has never been shy in coming forwards, Campbell said, noting her Duchess books. Markle lobbied for more lines or prominence. She'd get a job, she'd drive the director and producer crazy. Yes. According to Campbell, Markle advocated for role expansions and used her mixed-race ethnicity to lobby for more complex or prominent themes. Never satisfied, she always wanted more. Campbell. This used to put people off. Campbell said that Markle's first husband, Trevor Engelson, was very hesitant to put her forward for anything because Meghan was an embarrassment. Engelson, a film producer, was wary of Markle's lobbying and the situations that ensued when she pushed for more visibility. No matter what she was put forward for and got, she tried to up the ante and turn it into something else, Campbell said. Campbell finished with a powerful contrast. She compared Markle's earlier willingness to embrace platforms for visibility with her later vocal rejection of them. Now she has to denigrate the very people she was trying to exploit, Campbell added. Suddenly, Howie Mandel is someone, and his show should be denigrated. When in fact, most people who have started on the show have been very appreciative of the chance that they were given. This claim argues that Markle's current critique of an early employer is fundamentally inconsistent with her earlier eagerness to be promoted by that employer, and that this inconsistency reflects either opportunism or a retrospective realignment of public narrative. Campbell relies largely on interpretation and a particular motivation reading. She links previous aspirations to present statements claiming inauthenticity. Those who disagree with Campbell's thesis can argue that acting careers often involve professional progress and that people's reflections on past experiences might alter over time. The interpretive leap from career desire to moral failing rests on normative judgments that are disputable. Reasonable observers can disagree on whether the data supports deliberate deceit or a common and justified urge for opportunity. Comments that infer motive from few anecdotes risk simplifying complex personal trajectories. Aspiring actors and models traverse an industry where networking, visibility, and relationship building are key. Actors who establish their role or seek attention from decision-makers are following professional playbooks, but whether this is manipulative or pragmatic is a question of perspective. Moreover, career-enhancing traits like ambition, tenacity, and social skills might be misinterpreted as opportunism in larger public roles. Celebrity culture often reinterprets past acts via modern moral and political perspectives. The Trevor Engelson story and Hollywood change. The program also discussed Markle's connection with her first husband, Trevor Engelson, and stated that people who previously kept quiet about her are now more open about it. Engelson, who was involved with Markle for 9 years and married to her for 2, has remained mostly silent about his time with her. But the broadcast and the media have allowed mutual acquaintances and entertainment figures to share their stories. The show cites an example about reality TV star and entrepreneur Bethany Frankel, who met Engelson after his divorce from Markle was finalized and Prince Harry was gaining public attention. According to Frankel's podcast, Engelson reportedly said, "She'll close," referring to Markle's pursuit of the prince. Some interpret this as a cynical assessment of Markle's strategic ambition, while Campbell interpreted it as a rhetorical shorthand for Markle's instrumental approach to social activity. According to journalistic networks, Meghan Kelly told another story. Kelly was told by a friend of Engelson's friend that Markle had a vision board or mood board with Prince Harry before they met. This assertion is offered as a second or third-hand story, which reduces its evidentiary weight due to the chain of attribution. Such articles have been part of a larger narrative that portrays Markle as a savvy climber. Lady Colin Campbell said that Markle's old acquaintances are less reticent now that her royal association has faded. At first, she was cloaked in the respectability and the glamour and the patina and the prestige of the royal family. Campbell said, implying societal protection prohibited candid speech. Campbell believes the Sussexes' withdrawal from royal duties and public criticisms of the monarchy have weakened the shield. "It's only been in the last year or two," she remarked. People get the courage to speak the truth when they know they won't be punished. They then add a nugget. This study suggests that new memories may arise due to changing cost-benefit assessments among potential speakers. According to Campbell, the costs of opposing a royal associated public figure have decreased, leading to more people sharing their opinions. Whether those perspectives are reliable, idiosyncratic, or motivated by other factors is another question. But the broadcast framed this as a phenomenon in which time and the Sussexes' changing public roles have changed social dynamics that shape what people report. Trevor Engelson's 2 words, "she'll close," says all that needs to be said about how ruthlessly opportunistic and how totally artificial and how brilliantly adept at artifice Meghan is, Campbell said. Engelson is both victim and witness in Campbell's story, since he was used and then replaced when a better opportunity, the royal marriage, arose. According to Campbell, Markle's later behavior and public posture are explained by a continuous narrative of instrumental social climbing. Other interpretations exist. People divorce for different reasons, and the transition from Hollywood star to royal consort is intriguing. Commentators often use cliches like "she'll close" and "she was after" status to summarize long-term partnerships in tabloid and opinion journalism. These reductions are appealing because they apply a simple causal explanation to complicated human relationships. They also hide life's regular events, different goals, incompatibilities, and unforeseen professional and romantic relationship changes. Royal titles and history. The broadcast shifted from personal memories to institutional implications. Could bad narratives affect the Sussexes' royal status? The concern was whether a future monarch, King William, hypothetically could change or eliminate royal styles and titles linked with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Lady Colin Campbell responded by using historical precedents to demonstrate the monarch's vast right to redefine family styling and position. Campbell noted that King George V restructured royal terminology in the early 1900s. In 1917, amidst anti-German sentiment in Britain, George V made significant changes, including changing the family surname from Saxe-Coburg and Gotha to Windsor, and relinquishing German titles held by extended family members. Through letters patent, the king limited eligibility for the styles Prince and Princess, and the designation His or Her Royal Highness to the children of the sovereign's sons, and the eldest living son of the Prince of Wales' eldest son. The monarch issues letters patent, which outline legal or administrative commands. In this case, they defined who might wear royal styles. Campbell offered incidents to demonstrate how royal rank has changed. She cited Prince Alastair of Connaught, whose rank changed during 1917. King George V stripped Prince Alastair of Connaught of his princely rank, Campbell said. With a stroke of the pen, Prince Alastair of Connaught became the Earl of Macduff. The monarch then and any future monarch has the power to change styles and ranks through formal instruments, which affects how people are addressed and recognized. In 1919, Princess Patricia of Connaught married Commander Alexander Ramsay and stopped using the titles Princess and Royal Highness, becoming Lady Patricia Ramsay. Campbell attributed the transition to royal coercion, describing it as a forced relinquishment to avoid the discomfort of a princess marrying a non-royal and maintaining a princely demeanor with a commoner spouse. Campbell cited Princess Maud, a granddaughter of King Edward VII, who became the Countess of Southesk in 1923. While she acknowledged that Maud did not lose her princely status, Campbell cited the shift from princely to territorial or noble styling as an example of rank being reduced in daily use. Campbell linked early 20th century precedents to modern royal practice. King Charles III's treatment of Prince Andrew was an example of a modern ruler changing a family member's public and institutional functions. Prince Andrew remains the Duke of York, although he has been stripped of his military associations and royal patronages and no longer uses his Royal Highness in official capacities. Charles has effectively done the same thing with Andrew Campbell, said seeing these steps as a clear signal that the crown will act when necessary. Even with formal titles, such moves change a royal's public and institutional recognition. Campbell claims that the sovereign has historic and modern means to adjust the royal family's public image, which may be used to adjust the Sussex's public image. Such action depends on legal and constitutional constraints, public opinion, and the sovereign's judgment about the institution's welfare. Campbell's intervention was to emphasize that historical precedent and recent practice provide a framework within which such actions are intelligible and practicable. Note that changing royal styles is complicated, and because letters patent parliamentary consultation and the Crown's constitutional role makes sweeping unilateral revocations politically contentious. While the king controls styles, any major alterations that would redefine dynastic succession or title status could spark government and public controversy. Even when patronages are removed or HRH usage as limited titles can retain symbolic relevance in public discourse. The monarch can adjust status, but whether they should and how such moves would be regarded locally and globally are judgment calls. Internal aristocratic criticism. British aristocratic criticism was discussed later in the presentation. A recent Telegraph interview with the Duchess of Northumberland, Jane Percy, was regarded as a thinly veiled remark on peerage titles in public life. The author and Alnwick Garden creator Duchess said she writes as Jane Northumberland, disregarding her royal title. She said, "Unlike other duchesses who put their names everywhere, I'm not using my title," in an interview. I'd say it could be detrimental as one or two duchesses haven't really helped the cause lately. Commentators read that sentence as a criticism of Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and Sarah, Duchess of York, who have published books with their ducal titles on cover pages. Lady Colin Campbell praised the Duchess of Northumberland's position and explained how branding influences such decisions. She said publishers choose how to show an author's name on a book's cover to maximize recognition and market uptake. Campbell remarked that Sarah Ferguson was well known as the Duchess of York when she began writing, making the title on covers commercially viable. Campbell said Meghan made a strategic mistake by insisting on publication as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex rather than Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle is better known as Meghan Markle than Meghan Duchess of Sussex. Campbell said, "I think she made a big mistake by insisting on being published as Meghan Duchess of Sussex. Meghan Markle should have been published. That would have boosted her credibility, appeal, and relatability." Campbell argues that personal branding affects public perception. In markets where aristocratic styling may seem extravagant or inaccessible, a ducal title might convey respect and authority, but also alienate an author from regular readers. It would take away some of the sting of her always saying, "I don't care about titles, but you better call me by mine." Campbell suggested implying that a more candid or strategically consistent presentation of name and status might have mitigated some criticisms and reduced the appearance of opposition. This interaction is part of a cultural debate about how historically privileged institutions negotiate merit authenticity and commercial visibility. Some regard claiming a title for business benefit as a sensible use of a resource, while others see it as an inauthentic affectation that undermines egalitarian public persona. In the current media economy, symbolic cues, names, titles, styling carry commercial worth, and publisher strategy, market research, and individual preferences determine whether to use them. A separate controversy note. Lady Colin Campbell addressed another controversy in which she has been central during the same broadcast. Campbell addressed her role in the controversy surrounding her 2005 novel, Empress Bianca, which was rumored to be inspired by Lily Safra, widow of late banker Edmund Safra. Campbell said Safra's representatives publicly accused Campbell of writing a book on her life and hired attorneys to compel Campbell's publisher to censor the book. Campbell claims that Safra's legal team threatened such harsh financial penalties that the publisher first pulled the book. Campbell then detailed her legal defenses. Campbell was allowed to reprint her work after the High Court settled her tortious interference with her publishing contract and defamation lawsuit against Lily Safra. The Netflix true crime documentary Murder in Monaco revisits the 1999 killing of Edmund Safra and the accompanying legal and social conflicts, including Campbell's meeting with Safra's legal team. The documentary trailer clip of Campbell leaving an interview went viral, although she later stated that she had no clear recollection of the reasons for her departure. She added, "Evidently, they did something I didn't like because I stormed off. Dan, unfortunately, I don't recall the event, but it was significant enough for Netflix to feature it. But it's not memorable enough for me to recall daily." Campbell recounts this story in the program to demonstrate her readiness to engage in aggressive public disagreement and situate her current remark on the Sussexes as her usual frank, litigiously informed perspective. The episode shows that public figures often have troubled pasts of lawsuit publication and media spectacle, which affects how they are viewed today. Listeners see Campbell's legal and media experience as both a credential and a warning. Commentators use their own history to explain others' behavior. Conclusion. Recent allegations about Meghan Markle's time on Deal or No Deal have sparked a re-evaluation of her pre-royal career and the public perception of those experiences. Markle's Archetypes podcast comments describe a job that objectified and reduced her to visual stereotypes. On the other hand, show staff and commentators' memories cast doubt on Markle's reported experience. Lady Colin Campbell's intervention with broader motive and ambition allegations and past behavior as predictive of present character has complicated the debate. As social protections and reputational calculations change, narratives are revised, contested, and amplified in public life in the modern media environment. Campbell claimed that the royal family's protective aura has faded, encouraging the silent to share memories and opinions. It is unclear whether those recollections are new facts, memories, motivated narratives, or something in between, but time, institutional context, and public sentiment all influence who speaks and what they say. Institutional issues were discussed in the broadcast, not just TV placement. Historical precedents and recent monarchy decisions show that royal status and styles can change, and that reigning sovereigns can recalibrate family members' public status through formal instruments like letters patent and administrative decisions about patronages and military affiliations. The 1917 reforms under King George III and the measures affecting Prince Andrew show that institutional authorities can respond to reputational concerns and reshape royal identity and practice even without legal title revocation. Finally, the debate shows how contested memories, mediated anecdotes, and interpretive commentary create a complex and often contradictory public image. After retiring from royal duties, the Sussexes remain popular figures, and the circulation of recollections from former colleagues, acquaintances, and commentators suggests that their past and future will be scrutinized. Whether these narratives will converge or remain fragmented is uncertain. However, personal memory, media amplification, institutional precedent, and strategic self-presentation will shape public perception of public figures' lives and choices. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts and goodbye for the time being.